Namaskar, welcome to my channel. I'm Maina Bhatnagar. I'm an astrologer and I'm an author. In politics, there are no friends, there are no enemies, only opportunities. Someone has asked me this question that will Mr. Yogi Aditya Nath become the next Prime Minister of our country? This question is quite interesting because these days he is quite in news for all the reasons, and he has been Chief Minister, and I believe he's very, very popular as well. So let's begin studying this question. I've taken this question on 19th of July at 11:33 a.m. in the morning on US timings. And I've taken this question from Krishnamurti Paddhati. So when I take this question, I am looking at the Rashi chart and Bhava chart both, because that's how we read it. So we begin from reading from the 10th house. And why the 10th house? Because the 10th house is the main house for any jobs, appointments, duty allocations, and of course it is the zenith of the natal chart, whether it is a natal chart or it is a prashna for any performance success in the world, that is a visible world. 10th house is the key point. And direction wise also, if you see, the 10th represents the south where the maximum light falls. So the ruler of this house is Jupiter, and as we know that the Jupiter is, when we look in the political scenario, the Jupiter is in the divine scheme, he is the guru, he is the advisor. And when we come on mundane astrology, Jupiter is also a chief minister. Jupiter is a ruler here of the second house, which is an important house, because second house is house of speech, and the planet here Jupiter is ruling it. According to Krishnamurti Paddhati, he relates to moon, and moon is in the ascendant. The ascendant is a very powerful house because ascendant is the trine and angular houses and represents the native himself. This is the core of the natal chart or prashna chart. So moon is very powerful here. Moon is the ruler of the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of dharma, religion, all the legal matters, the justice, and the bhagya. So it's very interesting that the 9th house rules the justice and bhagya. So if you look at from karma perspective, the bhag is only supporting us if we have done good karmas. So to understand, it's a very interesting point to look at the 9th house. So the 9th house is important here because unless you don't have the bhagya to support you, you can't become successful. Because in politics, you are not affecting minds, or not so just couple minds are looking at you. There are millions of minds, millions of people whose thoughts and your thoughts are one, in the sense that you are able to influence their mind and they accept you as their leader. So this is an important thing that the 1st and 9th houses and moon have agreed. Jupiter further relates to Mercury, that is the lord of 10th house, and Mercury is the 9th house. So here we find the chart very strong because it's the 1st, 9th, 10th houses, and for politics these are very crucial houses. But let's go further. Just this is not enough, because just as in democracy you need majority, here also we need more planets to support, because this is not an ordinary post. So let's look at Rahu, another Karak of politics. The most sharpest intelligence planet for the politics is Rahu, because Rahu knows. Rahu in ascendant, Rahu in important places gives the person that sharpness of mind, especially in political scenario, to know what the other person is thinking, a good assessment, a capacity and the kind of conscience to turn around when you don't find things favorable to you. In some ways, lack of conscience also. So Rahu is in the 4th house, which I don't think is a very supportive place. The another planet of masses, where the voting comes really, is Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of fourth house, but Saturn is retrograde here. That makes it a little tricky because Saturn support is very important here. The retrogression in astrology is a very, in my experience, is a very the transit of a planet when it turns retrograde versus direct has a lot of meanings. So Saturn doesn't support here. Let's look at the King of Kings, bosses, and that is the Sun. In mundane astrology, Sun is the royalty number one. He's the King of Kings, as I said. In the natal chart, he represents power, authority, father, the head. So, does Sun support? At this point of time, while taking the query, the Sun is in with Venus. The Sun is in 8th house. That's difficult. That has put the question and the answer in a very tricky spot. Though the chart has great merit because the moon, which is another royalty planet, is very strong, Jupiter is strong, Mercury is strong, but since Sun does not support it, Saturn doesn't support it, I feel that he will not become the Prime Minister. But as I said, that the chart is strong, he will definitely continue in politics. Because see, don't forget the moon is the number 2. Moon is number 2 in the hierarchy of power. Number 1 is Sun. So it's clear that he will continue as either chief minister or in union as a very senior cabinet minister or something like that, or maybe as a governor, but prime minister, no. So this was my reading based on the Prashna chart. Thank you to the gentleman who asked me this question, and thank you the ones who are watching. I would request you to please like my video and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon for the new the videos and the updates, because soon I will be making a video on a person I feel might be a contender for the 2029 elections for the Prime Minister's post. Thank you very much for watching. Dhanyavad.